Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Today I'm sharing some cards I made using Paper Rose's Inky Antics 1.0 collection and also the Basics coordinating collection. I'll be using the 6x6 size, but they also sell a 12x12 collection with the same designs. There are 18 double-sided pattern papers, so I'm just flipping through these really quickly. I don't do all the fancy techniques to create my own backgrounds, so it's always fun to have a paper collection where they've already done the work for me. The coordinating basic collection has the same colors with some stripes and polka dots. I will be using Card Creator die number 4 for all of my cards. I thought this looked really fun. You can cut out the frame and it has the little diagonal stitch all along the outside. And I will have links provided in the description box if you are interested in any of the products I use in this video. So let's go ahead and get started with my first card. I've cut out the frame from some black cardstock, flipped it over. Now I'm adding some double-sided tape to the back. I'll put two 1-inch strips and then that final piece, I think this is about 3/4 of an inch wide. Then I'll flip over the frame. I've already cut out the pieces from one of the patterns. Now I'll just inlay all of those pieces. And the opposite corners, they are the same size, so you could mix and match if you're using different paper collections. Had a little bit of that double-sided tape sticking over the edge, so I'm just trimming that off. I'll remove the release paper and attach the frame onto some black cardstock. And the reason I do that, sometimes there's tiny little gaps between those inlaid pieces in the frames, and I don't want that to show. So by adding a piece of black on the back, you won't be able to see that. For the background, I'm using some white shimmer cardstock, layering it on some dark pink cardstock, and then again on some black cardstock. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, so 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. The background piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and I added an additional 1/8 of an inch for each of the layering cardstock pieces. I'll put some liquid adhesive on the back and adhere this panel onto the card more toward the top. For the sentiment on the card, I'll be adding the word hello. I cut it out twice, once from some black cardstock and the other from some of the white shimmer cardstock. I'll layer the two pieces together, leaving a little bit of that black shadow in the background. And this is the Hugs Thanks Hello Chunky Script die. It's one of my favorite sentiment die sets by Paper Rose. For the image, I've cut out a little vase and also some foliage, and these are from the Little Vases and Little Foliage die sets. The vase, I used some black mirror cardstock, so I had a little extra shine. All of the foliage pieces, I used some light yellow cardstock that matches that bright yellow on the pattern paper. I put a piece of double-sided tape on the back of the vase. Then I can attach all the little foliage pieces. I will be popping up this vase using some very thin foam dimension. At the top of the vase, where all the stems of the foliage are, I'm putting a scrap piece of cardstock. That'll keep everything at about the same level. Remove the release paper and adhere it to the lower right-hand corner of the frame. After I attached it, I decided to put some liquid adhesive on the back of the foliage pieces. Then they wouldn't be loose and accidentally catch on something. So once I have all of those in place, I can attach the sentiment, and I'll put it to the left of the vases. Just attaching using some liquid adhesive. I decided to keep this card fairly flat. It's always nice to have some cards on hand that don't need additional postage when I mail them. So there is my finished card, and I did end up making 4 using this design. For 2 of the cards, I used one of the pattern papers that has blue and oranges together. I think it looks so pretty. There are so many beautiful color combinations included in the paper collection. There's something for everyone in there. For the next set of cards, I used the pattern paper frame that was left over. Now, I was only able to get 2 frames. So I'll show you why you can't get 2 of them from the full 6x6 sheet. They're just a little bit too wide. So it's hard to see on the video, but it's just a tiny bit over the 3 inches. So you're really only able to get one full frame. Although I was still able to cut out the inside pieces of the frame, and that's why I had 4 cards for that first card design. For the second card design, I'll be using that pattern paper frame. I put some double-sided tape on the outside edge. I used 1/8 inch double-sided tape and then put liquid adhesive on the very narrow inside of the frame. Then I attached the frame onto some white shimmer cardstock. I'll put liquid adhesive on the back and adhere this piece onto some of the white and pink polka dot pattern paper. And this is from that Coordinating Basics collection. You can see it has the stripes on the back side. I'll layer this panel on some pink cardstock, put ATG tape on the back, and adhere my card front onto a card base. For the image on the card, I'll be adding some Christmas flowers. So I have 2 different sizes, and they have that little cutout through the middle of the flower, and I decided I wanted to have some sparkle in the background. So I used some pink glitter cardstock, just cut out some circles that would fit on the inside, put some liquid adhesive, and I'll attach those glitter circles on the back side. And I'll do the same thing for the 2 smaller flowers. For the center of the flower, I used the same pink glitter cardstock. I decided this card needed a little extra sparkle. So once that back piece is attached, I can add the center. Now it's the same size centerpiece for the large and the small flowers. There's only the one size included in the die set. I'll adhere the large flower and one of the small flowers in the lower right-hand corner on the frame. And the last flower will go above the sentiment. I'll also be adding some foliage pieces, and these are from the Christmas Foliage die set. I'll be adding a happy birthday sentiment, and this is a cut apart from Paper Rose's Big Sentiment 1.0 sentiment sheets. I love using these sentiment sheets, so quick and easy, and you don't have to do any stamping. I did cut a fishtail on the left side. Before attaching it to the card, I'm adding some scrap cardstock on the back just for some extra stability. I'll adhere the sentiment down first, then I can start arranging the flower and all the foliage pieces. I have 3 different full foliage pieces, and I'm cutting off some parts. That way I can add just little pieces in certain areas. So I'll attach the large flower first. Put some of the foliage underneath this small flower in the lower right-hand corner. And I will be popping up that one flower using some of the thin foam squares. For the final flower, I'll attach it above the sentiment on the left side. And I'm using just some tiny bits of the foliage underneath that flower. So the majority will be in the lower right-hand corner. Paper Rose sells so many beautiful floral die sets. So there is the final flower attached. For final finishing touch, I'm adding some clear crystals. This is their shaker mix. It has, I think, 4 different sizes of crystals. They don't have any adhesive on the back, so you will need to use some liquid adhesive, or you could use some super small glue dots. But I find liquid adhesive is the easiest way to adhere them. I'll put 2 in the upper left-hand corner, 2 in the lower right-hand corner, and 1 above the sentiment. I'm using an embellishment wand to pick them up and adding a drop of Barely Art liquid glue. So there's the finished card, and I did make 2 since I had 2 of those pattern paper frames left over. As much as I love pink, I really do like the card with the blue flowers and the orange polka dots. Now here's a quick look at the 6 cards I made using Paper Rose's Inky Antics 1.0 paper collection, and also some of the Coordinating Basics collection. This is a beautiful collection. It can be used for any card theme. I do have links provided in the description box below if you are interested in any of the products I used in this video. Paper Rose is located in Australia, and they do ship their products worldwide, but you can also purchase their products here in the US. And I do have links for both locations in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.